bet you might could raise it. My voice already on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's better to see. I don't see
How about that?
my legs spread out there. Of course, we have the book there.
Oop, gotta get going the other way. Flip around. There we go. And checking connection. All right, you're live on both.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us. We've got a special treat on the Friday reading program on story time today. And as we're getting our books together, I think our guest's first book is going to be Goodnight Tupelo, and there's a reason. There's a reason for that. Our guest reader today is the mayor of Tupelo, Mayor Jason Shelton. And Mayor, we're delighted to have you. Thank you for turn off our cell phones. Thank you for being able to join us today. I know you're a busy man, and we appreciate everything you've done and are continue to do for the city. It's a tough job. I had that job myself once, and when you got the coronavirus, plus you got the new emphasis and all of the heightened interest in justice and peace and all of those other issues that we've got to deal with in Tupelo, just like every other city in the country needs to deal with. I appreciate your leadership on both those counts. And Tupelo has been a progressive city. We continue to be a progressive city. That doesn't mean we can't do better. And we hope to continue to do better and improve our relations in all parts of the country. When I left a time capsule and planted somewhere near the mayor's office in City Hall for 100 years from, I guess it was our 140th city anniversary. In that time capsule, I said, perhaps by now, all of our issues of civil rights are just in the history books, and we're just talking about human rights. And I hope that's true, and to the extent we can make that happen, we want to. So, anyway, let me, Lucia, you ready over there?
I'm sharing on the
Ready?
on
Good.
the mayor's page.
Good. So, without further ado, for story time today, we want to welcome our Mayor Jason Shelton, my friend. And Mayor, thank you for reading with us, and glad to have you at Reed's.
Absolutely.
And I'll give you a Corona elbow
All
there.
right. Well, thank you so much, Mayor Reed. It's an honor to be here. I appreciate the opportunity.
And you can
Yeah, let me go ahead and take this off. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be here and read at Reed's Bookstore. This is, of course, a famous building here in the city of Tupelo, and historic building in the city of Tupelo, and just honored to be here. Appreciate the opportunity. I've got several books. I think behind me there's a couple of prominent books to be displayed. One, Mississippi State's new head coach, one about Lou Gehrig, and then if you can see all in back, Tap Code by and about Tupelo's very own Smitty Harris and his wonderful wife, and everything that they went through during his time as a POW. So I'll go ahead and get started. I'm trying to get ready. This is good practice for me. I've got a little one on the way, so this is good practice for me to be reading. This is Goodnight Tupelo by Brittany Carroll Rogers with illustrations by Brent Fair. Good night, Elvis statue singing in Fair Park. Good night, fountain I play in, lit up in the dark. Good night, Lyric Theater on Broadway Street. Good night, Gumtree Festival, where my favorite artists meet. Good night, Veterans Park. Your flags lead the way. Goodnight Little White House, where Elvis used to play. Everybody, of course, knows Elvis. Goodnight Tupelo Airport and the planes that fly. Goodnight Natchez Trace and the cars that drive by. See the beautiful artwork? Goodnight Ballard Park, where I go feed the ducks. Goodnight Automobile Museum and your antique cars and trucks. Goodnight Buffalo Park, where the wild ones roam. Goodnight Daily Journal. You bring the news to my home. Goodnight Tupelo Hardware. Elvis got his first guitar from you. Goodnight Johnny's Drive-In and your world famous barbecue. Goodnight doctors and nurses at North Mississippi Medical Center. Goodnight cats and dogs at the Humane Society. Goodnight Crosstown and the trains going through. Goodnight Golden Wave. Go gold and blue.
Your picture of you there, Mayor.
Have to get the sideline picture. Goodnight Bancorp South Arena. Your shows are number one. Goodnight Mall at Barnes Crossing, where I go to have fun. Goodnight Tupelo police officers. You keep us safe and sound. Goodnight Reed's Department Store, the best shop around.
Probably our favorite page.
Do I need to read that one again? Goodnight Downtown Main Street 2. Goodnight Tupelo. I love you. And that was again Goodnight Tupelo by a local artist and author. They friends of mine. They do a great job. So this is Goodnight Tupelo. Available here at Reed's Bookstore, historic downtown Tupelo. All right. This is Because I Had a Teacher. I'll try to, this one's not quite as illustrated. I'll try to maybe do this one a little differently here. Because I had a teacher, I loved to learn. Picture of the books. I discovered that I can do much more than I thought I could. I realized it's okay when some things are harder than others. I found that challenges can be fun. Because I had a teacher, I discovered that there are lots of ways of being smart. I hope you can see the pictures, they're great. And I know that mistakes are just a part of getting something right. I realize that some of the hardest things for me to do make me feel the proudest. See, riding the bicycle, like maybe a race. Because I had a teacher, I know how good it feels when someone is happy to see me. I know that I can always ask for help. I feel like I have a friend on my side. I see that some of the most important things are said without words. Because I had a teacher, I have whole new worlds to explore. I discovered that I can imagine, I can make real. And now I feel like I can do anything. Because I had you, I learned to believe in me. Thank you. This is Because I Had a Teacher, written by Kobe Yamada. All right.
By the way, that's Ginger the giraffe right behind you.
This is Ginger.
That's
Well,
Ginger.
hey, Ginger. She can't. You can't see her. She's saying hello back. You can't see her because of the mask. And who is this?
We're still. I think we're working on a name there.
This is I don't know. Cody the cow.
Cody the cow.
And then we've got, of course, for my fellow Mississippi State fans, we've got a little bully over here. I don't know if you can see the bulldog. Never go wrong there. All right. They promised me some difficult words. So we've got Rosie Revere, Engineer by Andrea Beatty. This is the story of Rosie Revere, who dreamed of becoming a great engineer. In Lila Greer's classroom at Blue River Creek, young Rosie sat shyly, not daring to speak. So the little students, the teacher. But when no one saw her, she peeked in the trash for treasures to add to her engineer's stash. And late at night, Rosie rolled up her sleeves and built in her hideaway under the eaves. Alone in her attic, the moon high above, dear Rosie made gadgets and gizmos she loved. And when she grew sleepy, she hid her machines far under the bed where they'd never be seen. When Rosie was young, she had not been so shy. She worked with her hair swooping over one eye and made fine inventions for uncles and aunts, a hot dog dispenser and helium pants. See the helium pants? The uncle she loved most was Zookeeper Fred. She made him a hat to keep snakes off his head from parts of a fan and some cheddar cheese spray, which everyone knows keeps the pythons away. And when it was finished, young Rosie was proud, but Fred slapped his knee and he chuckled out loud. He laughed till he wheezed and his eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who stood there embarrassed, perplexed, and dismayed. She looked at the cheese hat and then looked away. I love it, Fred hooted. Oh, truly I do. But Rosie Revere knew that could not be true. She stuck the cheese hat on the back of her shelf, and after that day kept her dreams to herself. And that's how it went until one autumn day, her oldest relation showed up for a stay. Her great-great-aunt Rose was a true dynamo who'd worked building airplanes a long time ago. She told Rosie tales of the things she had done and goals she had checked off her list one by one. She gave a sad smile as she looked to the sky. The only thrill left on my list is to fly. But time never lingers as long as it seems. I'll chalk that one up to an old lady's dreams. We'll have to read about Rosie the Riveter. That night, as Rosie lay wide-eyed in bed, a daring idea crept into her head. Could she build a gizmo to help her aunt fly? She looked at the cheese hat and said, "No, not I." But questions are tricky, and some hold on tight, and this one kept Rosie awake through the night. So when dawn approached and red streaks lit the sky, young Rosie knew just how to make her aunt fly. She worked and she worked till the day was half gone, then hauled her cheese copter out onto the lawn to give her invention a test just to see the ridiculous flop it might turn out to be. Strapped into the cockpit, she flipped on the switch. The Hello Cheesecopter sputtered and twitched. It floated a moment and whirled round and round, then froze for a heartbeat and crashed to the ground. Then Rosie heard laughter and turned to see the old woman laughing and slapping her knee. She laughed till she wheezed and her eyes filled with tears, all to the horror of Rosie Revere, who thought, oh no, never, not ever again, will I try to build something to sputter or spin, or build with a lever, a switch, or a gear, and never will I be a great engineer. She turned round to leave, but then Great-Great-Aunt Rose grabbed hold of young Rosie and pulled her in close and hugged her and kissed her and started to cry. You did it! Hooray! It's the perfect first try. This great flop is over. It's time for the next. Young Rosie was baffled, embarrassed, perplexed. I failed, said dear Rosie. It's just made of trash. Didn't you see it? The cheesecopter crashed. Yes, said her great aunt, it crashed, that is true. But first it did just what it needed to do. Before it crashed, Rosie, before that, it flew. Your brilliant first flop was a raging success. Come on, let's get busy and on to the next. She handed a notebook to Rosie Revere, who smiled at her aunt as it all became clear. Life might have its failures, but this was not it. The only true failure can come if you quit. They worked till the sun sneaked away to its bed. Aunt Rose tied her headscarf around Rosie's head and sent her to sleep with a smile ear to ear, to dream the bold dreams of a great engineer. See in here, it says we can do it. At Blue River Creek, all the kids in grade 2 build gizmos and gadgets and doohickeys too. With each perfect failure, they all stand and cheer, but none quite as proudly as Rosie Revere. That's it. That was the end. Rosie Revere, engineer.
Go Rosie.
Nice to have a built-in applause. I
Sound
need
effect.
one of those signs.
Applause, please.
I see.
Well, I hope everyone's having fun and enjoying the books here at Reed's Bookstore. This is a wonderful program that they put on to, of course, promote some great books, but also to bring these books to children all over the area that are watching and getting an opportunity to be exposed to the great children's books and have this experience. And I'm honored and thankful. Very proud to be part of it. So if you're going to read children's books, I think you have to do a Dr. Seuss book. It wouldn't be complete without it. And I hope, as someone that occasionally gets a little tongue-tied on a good day, I'll do my best to do Dr. Seuss justice. This is Dr. Seuss. Oh, the places you'll go. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the guy who'll decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look 'em over with care. About some you'll say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not so good street, and you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight into town. It's opener there in the wide open air. Out there things can happen, and frequently do, to people as brainy and footsy as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along. You'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be up on your way. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar high heights. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole gang and you'll soon take the lead. Wherever you fly, you'll be best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. Sounds like the Tupelo spirit. Except when you don't, because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say, but sadly it's true, that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. You can't get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly, and you'll be left in a lurch. You'll come down from the lurch with an unpleasant bump, and the chances are, then, that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, and you're not in for much fun, unslumping yourself is not easily done. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're dark. A place you could sprain both your elbow and chin. Do you dare stay out? Do you dare go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, should you turn left or right and 3/4, or maybe not quite, or go around back and sneak in from behind? Simple it's not, I'm afraid you will find, for a mind maker upper to make up his mind. You can get so confused that you'll start in to race down long wiggled roads at a breaknecking pace, and grind on for miles across weirdish wild space, headed, I fear, toward a most useless place, the waiting place. For people just waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or waiting around for a yes or no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for the wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night, or waiting perhaps for their Uncle Jake, or a pot of boil, or a better break, or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig with curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. No, that's not for you. Somehow you'll escape all that waiting and staying. You'll find the bright places where boom bands are playing. With banner flip-flapping, once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky. Ready because you're that kind of guy or gal. Oh, the places you'll go, there is fun to be done. There are points to be scored, there are games to be won, and the magical things you can do with that ball will make you the winningest winner of all. Fame, you'll be famous as famous can be, in the whole wide world watching you win on TV. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too, games you can't win, because you'll play against just you. All alone, whether you like it or not, alone will be something you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There are some down the road between hither and yon that can scare you so much that you won't want to go on. But on you will go, through the weather, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though your enemies prowl. On you will go, through the hack and cracks howl. Onward up many a frightening creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. On and on you will hike. I know you'll hike far and face up to your problems, whatever they are. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll get mixed up with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with care and great tact, and remember that life's a great balancing act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft, and never mix up your right foot with your left. And will you succeed? Yes, you will indeed. 98.75% guaranteed. Kid, you'll move mountains. So, be your name Buxbaum or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai, Ali, Van Allen, O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way. This is Oh the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. So thank you again, Mr. Reed. Mayor Reed, you get 2 mayors for the price of 1. So that's always only here at Reed's Bookstore. So,
Whether you want it or not.
thank you again, everyone. Thank you, Bennett, everybody for opportunity, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm sure next Friday there will be another special guest here to read some special books. Thank you, and have a great day.
Yay!
Thank you, Mayor.
Sure.
Good job. Well, we've had the superintendent read. We've had you read. Had some children read. We've had quite the.
I think I dropped a pen down here.